Hello, viewers. Today I have with me an incredibly talented actress, Aditi Govitrikar. She needs no introduction as she is a very successful actress. She was a supermodel and she's also a doctor and a psychologist. Her latest works, which will chime with the Gen Z audience, is Mismatched. She is known for her stunning looks since winning the Gladrags Supermodel Contest in 1996 and later claiming the prestigious Mrs. World title in 2001. Welcome to the show, Aditi.
Thank you so much, Heena. It's very kind of you, and thank you for the lovely introduction.
Thank you. Aditi, your journey is nothing short of inspiring. With background in medicine, you came to Mumbai and then your thoughts were juggling with two things, which is your career in medicine and making a name for yourself in Bollywood. Tell us a little bit about that dilemma which you faced when you came to Mumbai.
So when I came to Mumbai, I purely came for my medical studies. That was my dream. That was my childhood dream, which was to become MBBS doctor and then become a gynac, have my own nursing home. But when I came to Mumbai, even at that time, there was no plans as such of entering Bollywood. Uh, it just happened that in third year of MBBS, a friend of mine decided to take some pictures and send them to Gladrags Supermodel Contest, just like that only. And I took part. I said, okay, it's a matter of 4 days. Let me participate and see. It seems like a new field. It seems very interesting. And I learned something new because I'm a pretty much a pure nerd. I love learning new things constantly, even today. So I participated in it and I won, which was like came as a shock to me. And the next day itself, I started getting offers for films, for ad films. At that time, I wasn't ready for films because I just said that, you know what, I'm going to go back to medicine. This is not something that is going to be my career in future. But I said, ads, okay, let me try. Again, shoot for a couple of days here and there. And then work kind of started pouring in. At one point, I said, okay, let me do a film. I chose to do a Telugu film called Tamdu, which was a runaway hit. And I said, it seems fine. It's not as scary as everybody thinks or what one hears. And that's how the journey started.
Wow. But I'm very curious to know, Aditi, that how do you balance your roles? You have so many roles. Like, definitely, you started off as supermodel and you wanted also to build a career in medicine. But then, after completing your doctor degree, you also went on to do psychology. Do you think that when you pursue a lot of things, when you read a lot of things, when you learn new skills, do you find that your experiences in one field influence your work in another? Like, for example, in psychology, do you think that now whatever you learn, it's impacting your acting as well, making it more deep?
For sure, that's a great question. And I did psychology much later, which is about 8 years back. So I dedicated from 97 until now, like 8 years back, purely to glamour field. Um, but somewhere deep down, I felt like my brain is not getting the nourishment that I constantly want to learn and seek. That's why I chose psychology. Psychology is a recent phenomenon, and for sure, it affects your anything new that you learn always impacts your persona, because at the end of the day, this is me, right? I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. So it's all combined. So now when I select a role or when I act, uh, if I choose a role, then of course I give it a little bit of a backstory that, okay, this person must be like this and this is the background. This must be how the thought process must be. So I do bring in psychology. So you're absolutely right.
Aditi, we have seen you in blockbuster movies, no doubt, when you talk about Thamadu with Pavan Kalyan. But with the rise of OTT platforms and especially with the very successful web series like Mismatched, how do you see everything changing? What excites you the more? Because definitely I would accept this fact that we wanted to see more you in movies, which we definitely did not get the chance. But now we are seeing more and more of you. What kind of web series you're looking to work on?
I always like challenging roles. I always like different roles, and OTT allows me to do that. So I've done a series called Life Hill Gayi recently on Disney Hotstar, which was very interesting. Again, it was again playing a mother of a groom, but the story itself was very interesting. So I look forward to doing a lot more OTT series and a lot more roles which are challenging. And because luckily what has happened is, after a certain age for a woman, it is, you can't be a main lead, you only get to do mother roles. Luckily now things have changed, where as a
Yeah.
woman you can do so much more. There are women centric films, so that has opened up now, which is amazing for any actor.
Yeah, truly said. And Aditi, let's not forget that you're also the first Indian woman to win the Mrs. World title. How do you
Yeah.
feel about this achievement? Because I feel like with such sort of achievement, there comes a representation for the entire of Indian women on global platforms. We talk a lot about women empowerment. How do you feel, and anything that you would want to do in future to address this social cause?
Right. So when I participated in Mrs. World back in 2001, at that time the society or the glamour field especially was that a married woman did not have place in glamour field, in Bollywood, in acting, in modeling. At that time, it was like, okay, you're married now, your career is over. And when I decided to participate, or even before that, when I decided to get married, a lot of people told me that, don't announce it, do it quietly. Why do you have to, tell everybody? And I'm like, look, I mean, for me, this is not my main field anyway. At that point, at least, that was my thought process. And I'll go back to medicine if I don't find work. It's okay, because my personal life is my personal life, and I'm not going to shy away, and I'm not going to keep it, quiet. So that's why I was very open about it. And then when I got this opportunity, Mrs. Vadia, Maureen Vadia of Gladrags, approached me to participate in Mrs. World. I'm like, yeah, why not? Why is it that just because I'm married, I should not get this opportunity of walking on ramp? And here I had this chance of being part of something that was global. And I said that can change a lot for women in India, for married women in India. And thankfully it did. I mean, today you see a lot of mainstream heroines are married and have babies. And it just feels so good that a woman now is not restricted from doing what she wants, which in her professional life. I mean, just because you're an actor, just because you're married, you should not be, made to say that, okay, now you can't do main lead then. So that was a
Yeah.
big change that came about. And recently, Hina, since last year, what I have entered or I've started doing is I established my own beauty pageant called Marvelous Mrs. India. And why did I start this so late is because what I'm seeing is that body shaming has become very common. Or, oh, you're so short. Or, oh, your skin color is this. These have been taboos for women, and they've held back a lot of women from coming into the limelight or walking on ramp. And there have been a lot of models who tried to break this stereotype, and some of them have been successful. But I said, let me make it a national, let me offer this as a national platform to married, divorced, separated, or even widowed women, so that they get this opportunity of walking on ramp and enjoying the process of beauty pageant. So what is different than any other beauty pageant or married? There are many beauty pageants which are for married women. Is
Hmm.
that we provide a holistic transformational program. So the journey is very beautifully crafted. A lot of attention has gone into detailing of this journey, because we even had somebody from financial background to come and talk to our women, to participants, to give them knowledge about the financial field, financial part of our lives, because a lot of times women are not even aware of what is available, what instruments are available, because most of the men take care of the financial health. And even if the woman is working, they are still not aware of these ways of investing, etc. So we had somebody even from that field. We had Gaur Gopal Das ji coming and taking a session on on spirituality. We had Brahma Kumari sister Shivani coming and taking a session for us. So, of course, there is the beauty pageant part of it, which is walking the ramp, posing, and wearing makeup, and how to dress up, and social media, all those. But we also took care of confidence building, of time management, of stress management, of how to handle your social media etiquettes. So, it's a very beautifully crafted journey. And at the end, of course, it culminates into a very beautiful finale, So this year we had Neelam Kothari of course, everybody has seen Bollywood Wives. She had come as a judge. We had the Queen of Udaipur from the Maharana Pratap family. She came as a judge. So we were very fortunate, and it's going well. Touch wood.
Great. Aditi, you talk about all of these programs where you are helping women to build their confidence and, build their social media presence, helping them to thrive. And when you talk about all of this, it makes me recall one of your interviews where you talk in great depth about your own personal challenges, how you lacked confidence, which we definitely cannot see anywhere right now because you're so bold. And your journey also seems to be very truthful. Like you never shied away with the fact that you were married.
Yeah, well, yes, I have been candid about it, but I don't like to go into details of why and what, and
Yes.
because I feel that, my personal life is personal and it is not a public, it is not for public discussion. And the reason for it, that is that it becomes a gossip thing. It becomes like a coffee table conversation where um, eh, my whole point is I will share that which inspires somebody to come out of the darkness, because I have seen darkness. I have spent days where I didn't want to get out of bed. At that time, being a doctor, I was not capable, or I felt helpless, and I always thought of myself as a strong woman. But here I was completely helpless. And which is one of the reasons why I decided to do psychology. And that is one of the reasons why I decided to do Marvelous Mrs. India, because I know that the struggles I have seen, I can help others come out of that darkness. At that time, you don't see a ray of light anywhere, दूर दूर तक. ऐसे लगता है कि यही है life. I used to pray for nights to get over because I couldn't sleep a wink. And at the same time, my child, who was born preterm, was fighting for his life. So, when they say that when it rains, it pours, that was a phase in my life which was extremely difficult. There was no work. I was dipping into my savings to take care of me and my two children. So it was a very difficult time. And that propelled me into saying that, hey, overall, ऊपर से देखे तो सब कुछ तो ठीक है. But I know what I was going through. And similarly, that's what I tell my marvelous participants also, that don't judge anybody by what you just see. Everybody is fighting a fight. There is struggle in everybody's life. Like today, my winner this year is overweight by a few kilos. And it is so sad, and it hurts me to say that some of the participants are questioning that. And my whole premise of starting the pageant is that why should a woman be defined as beautiful or not beautiful because of her weight or because of her height? She had thyroid problem. Is it in her hands? However, she is not unfit. She goes to the gym every day. So when I say that weight is not a criteria, doesn't mean that you have to be unfit or you can be unfit. You work towards becoming fitter, but you can be of a certain weight. That does not matter. And that was what my endeavor was, to use my personal life or the difficulties that I faced in my personal life to inspire or to empower others so that they can come out of their darkness.
And I truly believe that your words will definitely resonate with all those people who are fighting their own battles, because you've seen the depths of life and you've come out of it, and it's very beautiful to watch. Just one last question I want to touch upon, Aditi. We saw the Hema committee report, which talks about the sexual harassment cases in Malayalam industry. You yourself, at the beginning of the career, faced a few things which were not these things, but definitely some sort of challenges you faced. And you also talk about casting couch culture. If you can just talk a little bit about what is it that you feel while you're working, in Bollywood. Do you think that there are negatives and there are these kind of scenarios where an aspiring actor who comes to Mumbai have to face?
For sure. I mean, look, casting couch exists, whether it is in Bollywood, Hollywood, or Tollywood, or Mollywood, whichever industry you take. And why only glamour field? It exists in corporates also, like at corporations, big ones. You hear stories about sexual harassment, and men in power misusing their power. And might not be in the face, it can even be subtle, you know. And that is something that needs to be addressed. And I think this whole Me Too movement has brought a lot of it in light, and that is great. I think women themselves should also take upon themselves not to give in and to speak up, because a lot of times it's difficult, I understand, to speak up against somebody who is in power, and then worrying that if I speak about this incident, will the other people in my office not look at me in the same way? That is a fear that any office culture has to address. And I'm glad that these conversations now are being spoken about. Like in Marvelous Mrs. India, again, we talk about boundaries. That this is something, this concept is relatively new in India, because this whole concept of boundaries does not exist. And that is something that I speak to them about. To give you a small example, I mean, I'm diverting a little bit, but I think these kind of conversations need to be out in the open. Is that many times in a meeting, a woman is saying something and a man will speak without letting the woman complete. He speaks over her, and then the woman keeps quiet and lets the man take charge. And it can happen so many times that the woman is a lot more educated, a lot more knowledgeable, but that does not stop anything. So at that time, these are the small things which people don't, these are microaggressions, right? And we are not even aware of them. In a bus, in a ST bus or in a BST bus, there are men who will purposely brush against a woman, right? And nobody says anything, and quietly that woman will kind of shrink. And
Yeah.
I have faced this because I've traveled in BST buses, I've traveled in ST buses, etc. At that time, I was like, oh my God, I used to then keep my bag like this. And today I would probably slap that guy, right? Or I would make a big noise. But at that time, I didn't have that capacity. But we have to make our daughters aware. We have to make our sons aware of these things. So sexual harassment is, of course, going to the next level. But even these small things, it starts from there. And women and men, both as parents, we need to teach our children, both the boy as well as the girl child, about these things. So the earlier we inculcate these habits or this respecting each other and their space and their boundary, I think that will take care of a lot of issues later on.
Great. Aditi, on a lighter note, if you have to star in several popular music videos, would you be up for that? Because we'd love to see your stunning looks in music videos, yeah.
I would love to. At one point, my friends used to call me music video queen because the number of, I was just, in fact, last night, I was talking to a friend and I was like, it was amazing how all the top people in music industry I worked with, and I've been very fortunate to do
Yeah.
music videos with Sonu Nigam, with Jagjit Singh, Adnan Sami ji, Asha Bose. Of course, that's people still remember, but be it Nadeem Shravan. Matlab, I've done so many music videos, so I would love to. Yes, of course.
All right, and just the final closing question from my side. You have had an amazing personal and professional growth, no doubt about it. The way you handle the situation, plus the projects that you're doing. Something that you would want to say to people who are coming to Mumbai and trying to make a name for themselves.
So, since I'm not from Mumbai and I was so to say, a newcomer into this big bad city of Mumbai, for people, especially who are coming for Bollywood or OTT or acting per se or modeling, what I would really, really request them, this is not an advice, this is a request, build a support system. And what do I mean by support system? Make friends, make real friends. See, because what happens is whenever you're coming from wherever you're coming, to keep that friendship going, it's a little difficult. If your parents are not shifting with you, it's a little difficult to discuss your day to day struggles or joys. And you need that. As a human being, we are not an island. We need that connectivity. We need to interact with other human beings. But make sure that these people that you surround yourself with are solid, they are authentic, and they are true to themselves. They need not be from the same field. You can cultivate friendships from other fields. In fact, that's even better. And not only friends, but have a psychologist who you can reach out to, because at the end of the day, you're not sure if the friend is going to be non-judgmental. You're not sure if that person is capable of giving you advice which is from the bird's eye perspective. So have that and keep your connection going with your roots. So keep in touch with your parents for sure. Make us, today with the video calls and all, whether it is Zoom or whether it's Google Meet, it's so easy to connect with another human being from other city. So keep that going. Please don't keep everything within yourself, because that is a reason why many people suffer, especially in this industry, from depression or from anxiety or panic attacks and so on and so forth. So please build a good strong support system.
Great. With that note, Aditi, I must say this conversation was very, very fulfilling for me, and I hope it is for our viewers as well. So, thank you so much for connecting with me, Aditi, to have this quick chat.
Thank you so much, Heena, for having me, and thank you
Thank
all of
you.
you. Us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.